Jesus Christ. Anyway. Yeah, once Bumbleman joins, we'll start the discussion. Which class do we start with? Do you like starting off with classes is good?
Oh my god, Sarah's Zero Angel has.
Yeah, I need to mute everyone. There we go.
Like Eddie Man.
I'm way ahead of you.
Does everyone just play All-Star?
That nightcap was 18 years.
Looks like it, yeah.
He's
I mean,
pretty strong.
it's not as common as you'd think it would be, to be honest, but...
Okay.
What are they doing? What was that?
It was funny nightcap. Hey, what do you think about All-Star?
Should we start with All-Star then?
Are we starting with All-Star?
I think we're probably starting with All-Star.
Yeah, best sniper in the game. He's a fucking Chad. He'll kill you at any distance because he doesn't care.
Is he actually good at range?
Yes.
I've already
Yeah.
played with him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they made him more accurate, remember? This patch?
Yeah, I do wonder, does he deserve a close range damage boost?
No, it's
If you
high
give him
enough.
appropriate drop-off?
No, his damage is where it should be for close range. It's super
You
high.
reckon?
Yeah, it's very high.
I mean, it's GW2 levels, pretty much exactly.
So yeah.
I mean, well, I would have tolerated GW2 All-Star being buffed to 100 DPS. I think a small buff wouldn't have hurt him.
I mean, yeah, you probably should have had his GW1 damage, but
Yeah.
That's just in general, though. They could have done that
I mean,
for
now you
most of
don't-
their bosses.
I mean, now you don't have to worry about him outclassing his variants because, you know, they don't exist. But, I mean, speaking of All-Star, good lord, his kit. You know? Because I don't think we've made it very, like, public how we feel about the changes to his abilities, but...
very bad direction. This game, the shield tanks like just aren't necessary in this, like at all. It doesn't fit.
I feel like they're accounting for sniper dominance, and now they're like, oh, we don't have snipers.
It's just the maps. Like the maps aren't anywhere near like Overwatch maps. Where like Overwatch map design, like the shields were like just a crutch for all like the insane amount of like ridiculous fucking choke points and stuff like that.
I mean, this game does have some stuff like that.
I mean, it's not, but like it's not even close as bad as an.
I think the main
Overwatch.
problem is that the shield tanks don't even fulfill that purpose. Like,
Yeah, they
at all.
don't.
Yeah.
They don't. They're
Like,
just,
All-Star
person-
Shield doesn't have any health, for one.
Yeah,
but it
you
still
just
is
use them for
annoying.
yourself. You know?
Pretty much
but-
makes him immune to snipers, which should be the main counter to a class like him. For the most part, like not to the point where it is in TF2 where you can't play if as a sniper. Can't play heavy.
I mean, that would like good luck.
But
making
also
a,
already has sprint
sniper
tackle,
class
I would
that
say. He
doesn't
doesn't
dominate
really...
anything else.
Sprint tackle, awful what they did to it.
Yeah, I don't. That one's just like. I feel like the rationale behind that was like it's better because you don't like you can toss them away from you. You know, you're not forced to go along
Like-
with them.
It's so much nicer feeling and just like more powerful just being able to go through people and like not having the hitbox be like the smallest thing fucking ever. It's pretty nice as well.
What I'm saying is, I suspect they didn't look at it as a nerf. You know.
Yeah.
Well, it really is.
Definitely is.
They kept it with Citron, which is the funny part.
Their upgrades, the upgrades they
That's-
have can still work with old sprint tackle. Honestly, that knockback people further one for sprint tackle would probably be pretty good with the old one because they'd be closer
well,
to where
then
you.
that would make it have the benefit that the lack of going through people would give you normally, I guess.
Well, it's mostly that if you like point blank someone, they'd be like knocked about where you go at the end of the tackle, and that'd be pretty useful. So you could follow it up like easier. So it's just like a waste of potential, pretty much.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, it's just not. It's not what they should have done. Plain and simple. That guy had a
I'm
plan.
not sure how I feel about Impunt.
Impunt
Probably
is
an improvement. Like, I don't know if I've ever been fully on board with it. Is the thing.
I don't really know. I always thought Impunt was pretty fair, considering All-Star's like role is like don't approach me. And you know
that's the entire point of the minigun character.
You gotta
He
think
counters
Citron,
people.
Citron's supposed to be like the kind of counter to, or the counterpart to All-Star in this, and he has EMP, which is like you do not get close to me or I kill you.
Like the whole point of a class like that is you're not really meant to get close to them, and they're meant to heavily punish people who run into them.
The problem I have with that is like you also want your melee classes to like exist. You know?
Oh yeah, but
like you do. There are classes which should be encouraged to get in close. Cause
I mean, there's no hard, there shouldn't ever be like hard counters, just like soft counters. Like All-Star's like good against melee characters in general, but you can like
I do
outplay
feel like
him.
that was the old imp punt.
Well, the
in
whole thing
large
with
part.
All-Star is that he's allowed to be really powerful up close, but he doesn't have like the mobility of a melee character. Like people have to come into him.
The mobility they should have, we'll say.
Well, okay,
They might not
should
necessarily
have.
have it.
But yeah, people should have to run into the All-Star. He's a defensive character.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I mean, I do think that not being able to swoosh the tackle is probably for the best.
Yeah,
it made him too mobile before. Like a character like that shouldn't be very mobile. That is like the entirety
I don't
of
want to
that's
let
just,
him
like this whole downside.
I don't like his move faster in the spin-up upgrade. It's not like super great, but just based on principle how the character's supposed to function.
I feel like it wasn't even a this would work well. It was just like, this is what like tennis star did. Let's just give it to him.
I feel like it's almost fluff at this point, like his rev up. Like they don't actually consider it for balancing.
Well, that's the most classes. Every class does like the same damage for the most part, I'd say. It's just the only differences are health pools and abilities. Everyone moves at the same speed too. Like All-Star's
You
not,
go beyond that.
like Imp isn't significantly slower than faster than All-Star.
He's not faster than All-Star at all.
I know. He's not. He should be though. Like there's no speed
Yeah.
differences. Everyone moves at the same speed. That's why
I don't know why they
sprinters.
removed it.
Sprinting's like really bad for like healers because it cancels all your abilities and stuff. So but you have to sprint to keep up with people.
Yeah.
A healer should move faster than most classes. Just by walking.
Or have like some way to easily keep up with him. At least Scientist has like warp, but like
But
he's
warp's
like
really
heal is a
overpowered.
his like heals like a toggle now, and it's like you have to aim it, and it just fucks up with his gameplay. Like it's I don't know what the point of that was.
Like warp, I'd say it's good for keeping up with
the
people,
heal
but it's
bomb was
really
good.
strong
the
as a
new
mobility.
heal bomb was good. I definitely like that.
They really wanted to mess with the kits of classes that were pretty well off already. Like
Yeah.
Soldier, Scientist, and All-Star had the best design kits from the previous games. And they messed with everyone but Soldier.
Just one of the best kits in any class-based shooter, honestly. In general.
Yeah, so they left Soldier alone because he was already, like, he was the most
I
solid.
mean, they didn't really leave him alone though.
They did though. It's pretty much
They
the
buffed
same,
his stick cloud a lot. They made his
which was
rocket
fair
jump
enough because it did hinder your teammates.
And they did sort of nerf his damage, I think.
That's how I thought the smoke cloud always should have been. So that was a good change.
Like
to me.
Soldier's damage was really high.
Like it, yeah. No, it definitely deserved the buff. I'm just saying I wouldn't say Soldier didn't get changed at all. I
Oh, no,
he
that's not
definitely
his
got
kit,
changed
though.
immediately.
Yeah, he did. He got changed, but like compared
really-
to like other characters,
It's not drastic. They kept him relatively the same.
Yeah.
I guess the main problem is it's like the changes just come across as very nonsensical, you know? Like,
It's-
you know, what class needs a full kit overhaul? Yes, Scientist and All-Star. You know?
Yeah.
Well, they need shield
But then
tanks.
you get like this stupid crap like Chomper, and they like make Snapdragon, and it's just very.
You get even, you know, Sunflower as well.
Yeah.
I maintain, I don't think they replaced Heal Flower because it was a bad ability. I think they just replaced it because they wanted to get rid of, like, deployables for the most part.
But then they add the Engineer turret.
Yeah, but that's like his class, right?
Yes.
That guy got bloody.
Or maybe it was for some other, like, dumb reason, like, you know, it causes confusion with the potted plant, you know?
Yeah.
They just removed a lot of things though, like drop-off's gone. Why'd they do that?
Yeah. There's no damage drop off. You can snipe
It's
with
weird because it doesn't. If the files are to be believed, it wasn't even like a long-term choice. You know, like they were planning on upgrades that like reduced your drop-off penalties.
Like damage drop off it doesn't hinder balance at all. It lets you balance things more.
Well, you need it so
Yeah,
it can specialize.
It's more options,
Yeah.
you know.
What they did in this game, and I theorize it's because of they want PvP to work, not PvP, PvE. A lot of sacrifices were made to PvP.
It's possible, yeah. I mean, I feel like that's why Chomper got a ranged attack.
That's why everyone just has good range damage now, except
Yes,
they do
I
it
love
super
how
range.
Chomper's a sniper now. Really good
Yeah,
class
like
identity
3
there.
shots most classes at range, and pretty
And it's
small
pretty
amount
easy
of
to
time.
hit.
But I mean,
Yeah.
speaking of weird reworks, I don't think anything can top Super Brains' shield for me.
Yeah, so
It's the
unnecessary.
most unnecessary thing they did.
I don't
yeah.
know why he still has Turbo Twister, it doesn't make sense.
Why does Imp still have Imkata? Why does
Why does
Sunflower still have
Gravity
Sunbeam?
Grenade? Why does him still have Gravity Grenade and Enkata? There's a lot
Like,
of weird...
Sunflower having Sunbeam is the most confusing part.
Why
That's
does
very
Mech still have Mech Stomp?
Why is Mech terrible?
Yeah, why did they nerf Mech this patch when they buffed everyone else's damage?
Why
Why
does
did they-
everyone do like average damage, and why are there no like extremes so people actually specialize? Why are there no specialists?
Because specialists are bad and dumb. I mean, like, okay.
honestly, everyone was always kind of a generalist in the GW series, and a lot
Yeah,
of
but
this
now,
bad.
like, Imp was not a sniper. Super
Yeah,
Brains
yeah.
wasn't a sniper, Chomper wasn't a sniper, but now they are. Except Super Brains, because he's the worst class now.
I mean, it's like you probably could do it without damage drop off, but you need to commit harder than this, you know? You need to have more characters like scientists, like bullets exploding early, more spray damage, more of that sort of stuff, more extreme.
But it just
range.
that for not having damage drop off, what do you have to do? You have to make the shooting feel like garbage. You have to add like a bunch of like random ass like range like drop offs and bullet like deletions and whatever stuff like that.
But I mean, what I'm saying is you could do it, but they're just not, you know?
They're not, and it's not a good
It's not like
idea.
it's inherently impossible, it's just that they're also very bad at it.
It just doesn't. It won't ever feel as good as like just putting a damage drop off. 'Cause that that doesn't limit you.
Yeah.
You
I
can
don't
always-
think spray's that bad, you know?
Oh, the spray's fine. Spray's like spraying like the spray characters and stuff. That's fine. I don't have a
Although
problem.
they seem to have sworn off spray for the most part.
Well, they've added it to Citron.
Citron, yeah. That's like one of the especially weird things though. They put in all this effort to get rid of spray. They make Snapdragon a projectile-based character, and then they just put it back in on Citron for no fucking reason.
I really like how when Sunflower heals someone or uses her heal, she becomes invincible. It's really fun.
Isn't it great?
I'm not. They should do crit heals in this game, honestly. In
Yeah.
combat, you should just get healed less.
Like, there's no sense for the way the healing is. I don't know why Overheal lasts forever. It's such an awful idea.
Now, speaking of in-combat mechanics, the sprint changes are awful.
Absolutely. As expected, they just made the game feel worse to play. Pretty
Like
much. You
sprinting
get
just
shot.
feels like it could work, but how they've implemented everything, they just.
I mean, with the lower TTK, they could just get rid of it, and I have a feeling everything would be fine at this point.
I
Like,
think they
once
speed up
they
the
need
walking speed, I think. But yeah.
Yeah, they could speed up the walking speed a bit. Well,
No, they would have to, because the walking speed is way too low. Like, unless you're running Speedy or something, it's not very effective.
Yeah, it's really bad. Like sprinting,
Especially if you compare it.
sprinting fixes problems that they made for sprinting to fix. Like you walk really slow, so you have to sprint, but also, you know, you could just walk faster. And you wouldn't
I mean,
need
my main
sprinting.
criticism of that is that it's like the PvE regions are still a chore to go through.
And the sprint
sprinting-
changes happened in
Yeah.
PvE as well,
Yeah.
so it slows down everything.
The PvE was like detrimental.
It's not even good PvE is the thing.
It's not. It really
It's
isn't.
just good by PvZ standards, you know?
Yeah, by the Garden Warfare series standards, it's good, but you know, if you look at
But it's
actual
not
single-player
like any,
games,
like,
it's nothing
crazy
like that.
PvP.
Like, what's
mean,
a
it
good
is funny,
single-player
they
game
managed
that's
to make-
like known for being really good?
Borderlands, you know.
Yeah, it's nothing like that. I think
mean,
people,
you
yeah, they
wouldn't-
just it's better than the other games, but it's still not
little,
good.
Like, it's just these little like mess around zones. Like, everything's extremely easy, and I know it's a kids game. But God, it's just so easy. There's like no like challenges for like people who aren't like bad.
There's no crazy mode.
Like the challenges are like the puzzles, but like if you don't like, there's no like challenges other than the puzzles.
And the puzzles, and like the platforming parts of the puzzles aren't even made with sprinting in mind. You don't actually need sprinting for them. They just sprinting just makes it easier.
Yeah.
Although I think beyond that, like It's not even the fact that like the GW2 ops is still infinitely better than BFN ops.
Oh yeah, the ops is
like-
awful. I've never liked ops, but this ops is just. This is the only game where ops is legitimately like draining for me to play. It's just not fun. Like period.
I think one of the major contributors to that is the fact that it's 5 waves. Because it really just hammers home how completely pointless it is. Like, at least when it's 10 waves, you can get somewhat lost in it, even if it is kind of pointless. But when it's 5 waves, it's like, it's short, it's not satisfying,
and there's no, like, private ops lobbies anymore, so you have to queue up for it for, like...
And it's randomized, you know?
It's it's just so... They took all the choice out of it for... What was their reasoning? It wasn't good reasoning, it wasn't worth it.
It was lag, I think.
Yeah, but like it's already a PvE.
Yeah, they said there was like some
mode.
sort of trade-off.
It's already a PvE.
Yeah, and you can go to the regions and play it, but it's limited.
Yeah.
That's just sort of what their battle chests are as well.
It's just everything about this game. It's just so many things are just off and done for just seemingly random reasons, and it's just very strange. Like, why did they do that?
The choice was like the worst one though. Like.
They had a thing that worked. People liked it. I didn't like it, but people liked it. You know?
GW2 Ops is easily the best in the series.
Yeah.
Well, it's the only one that actually functions. I don't like how the GW1 Ops locks you to half health.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Well, that's one of the worst parts of GW1 is just the health regen.
Yeah, well.
Speaking of dumb stuff, I hate how the movement feels in this game. It just feels off, like everything, other than the sprinting. Like, it just has, like... Everything just has delay, you know?
I don't like the jump.
Oh, the mobility and stuff is terrible. I don't like how you have to hold the jump to get maximum height. I don't like how getting shot nerfs your height. Because you need...
Moon jump is awful.
If you get shot with one bullet, you can't traverse the map anymore.
But I swear, the reason they made the jump like this is because it's, like, more realistic or something, you know?
No, it's because they made the maps huge.
And like
no, not the jump height, the way the jump works, like the way that your character pushes off the ground first, you know? Because in GW2 you just, or GW1 for that matter, you just press the button and you shoot off the ground.
Yeah, I mean it gives the characters like some weight, you know, which I think
I just don't think it, I just feel like it's a lot more awkward than it needs to be.
That's how I feel about the sprinting. Like they tried to be so cutesy with so many animations and just made the game so much worse. Like all the sprinting animations, like
Deadbeard is really egregious.
Yeah,
they just start up.
Like snipers do it the worst though.
They start up.
Deadbeard wave around.
And it feels awful. Like starting a sprint feels awful, ending a sprint feels awful. It always like stutters a bit, and like it just doesn't feel good ever.
And the FOV changes.
The FOV. Well, the FOV change is fine, but it's just in combination with like everything. That just makes it feel even worse.
Man, we're not getting an FOV slider for very solid reasoning.
Yeah, you know, it could give people a competitive advantage. That's why we want to hide
even if everybody could do it. Yeah.
You know what's awesome? This game has awesome competitive game modes without a ladder.
Yeah, there's no ranking, whatever, but it's competitive. We promise.
Yeah. The modes.
Don't worry, they're gonna make a tournament on a console, and it's gonna be full of players that have no clue what they're doing.
The modes are completely dead on PC. Like Arena mode is dead. What was it called? Like Thunderdome is completely dead on PC. You can't find any games for that. No one wants to play it. There's no like incentive to want to play it.
Well, I just find it weird because like if we influence this with the post we made on I made and I guess Rook helped on the fucking like why Soil Survivors would be like a decent competitive mode for the next iteration. One of the things I really stressed was that you need to put in a ladder so people have an incentive to play.
Yeah, definitely. But they just didn't. Like,
new competitive mode?
There's no... A mode isn't a competitive mode unless there's a way to track you as a player. Like, every modern...
If you can be put in the same game as people who installed, like, 5 minutes ago, then there's a problem.
And if someone who's like...
But here's another thing. On PC, the player numbers, because this game is dying, obviously, are just... not high enough to support that. It needs crossplay.
Well, that was a concern, I'm pretty sure that Lake stated. That way there's no ladder, because there's not enough players for it.
I think if crossplay was
a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
Oh boy, I'm getting a bit of lag.
but then like, why are they like acting like there's a competitive anything when there clearly isn't? You know?
Just getting sassy at me. If only there were a competitive mode.
If only.
If only.
Ah, I'm going too fast. Okay, now the revive bugged. Cool.
Oh, sweet.
Fantastic.
Why do Super Brains use that upgrade? It's so bad.
Why are they all playing Super Brains?
The hero
Is there a
time.
challenge for it, maybe?
Where
Yeah,
like
there's probably
you
a
the
challenge.
when you use your Super Ball. I was gonna ZPG him.
Oh yeah, the shield with Super Ball. People seem to think that one's really good. Like that's one of the most run upgrades I see on Super Brains in general.
It's not. It's just not good.
Well,
If you're
people
playing,
use it.
if you're playing Super Brains right,
Yeah, I won't bother with that crook.
your Super Balls should be coming out of nowhere, you know, like so they can't dodge it. Yeah,
I would say he's the worst
if he-
boss in the game right now.
I would agree with you. I don't know who's the worst plant. Probably Nightcap.
I don't think it's Nightcap, she is Shadow Dome.
You think
And
it's
also,
Rose?
no one
I
can get
don't
anything in this
think
game,
it's
so
Rose.
she's probably good for that.
I don't think Rose has improved at all, and
I
I'm
think
pretty
it's
sure she's the
Corn. I don't like Corn in this game anymore, like still.
I know you don't like Corn, but
I mean,
Rose
I
is
don't like him because he's
that
bad.
plants stand no chance in the latest.
Rose has Time Snare and she's
I mean,
invincible.
yeah, Rose has time stare.
Rose,
and
well, the thing is,
damage
Rose
buff.
has avenues to be annoying, but she
She's
doesn't,
not annoying, she'll kill you.
doesn't
Yeah.
really help.
She will kill you.
Say, like, Rose players are just especially, like, dumb compared to other types of people, so they're all, like, awful. But, like, a good, like, Rose, I'm sure, would be an absolute nightmare to fight. I haven't really played much Rose, though.
Well, the one thing I can tell you for sure is that her homing is just a lot worse now, because it's the range limit is just a lot more strict now. Because the whole thing with Rose used to be that you'd set it, you know, mid-range and you do that thing, but your homing doesn't actually reach that range anymore. Not to mention people can just like sprint around, so it's hard to keep them in that range. You have to get lucky with time snare. Is time snare actually RNG, by the way?
No. I don't think any of that stuff's RNG.
Slides is, but other than that, no.
Is it really? Because I thought they said it just accumulates over 5 hits.
I'm pretty sure it's random. At least the upgrades are.
I mean, going back to the Shadow Dome thing, that has to be the #1 dumbest change they made. And they
Yeah,
didn't
the
even
hypnotism
announce it.
stuff, it's really stupid.
What change?
They made it so like the hypnotism on the Shadow Dome is a lot stronger than it used to be. Because it used to be able
You
to
can't
just
get
walk
out of it, it's just grab nades are better.
Undocumented change.
Yeah, it's undocumented, but it very obviously happened because there's a strong contrast between how it used to be, where you could literally just walk out of it, no sprinting needed, to now where even sprinting might not get you out in time.
No, even mobility won't get you out of it, because it messes with your movement. And if you have an omnidirectional ability, you won't be able to get out.
Ah, damn, you got me.
I feel really sorry for these Super Brains.
They just want to play Super Brains, that's it.
They want to play the melee character.
It's almost like people playing a class want to play it.
And I love Snapdragon, I love Butter Chomper. Is he better than Chomper?
Yep,
I think he, yeah.
You just give them
he's better than Champa.
contest.
All Chomper has going for him anymore is like Burrow and the snipe.
This guy walked
pretty
inside
well.
his turret.
Kind of the fact that they made this whole spiel about how they were going to be more open with communication, and we're seeing more undocumented changes than we ever have before.
Yeah.
So,
I don't mind undocumented change if it's like a bug fix, because like whatever. But
Yeah,
if it's,
obviously.
you know, if it's a balance, then
when you make major balancing changes, like with the Nightcap Shadow Dome thing, that's the opposite of being more communicative than you were in GW2. GW2, there's not a single change that can get documented. Like even the ones that we didn't notice, the ones that they didn't explicitly mention in patch notes, they mentioned in the stream beforehand. They just forgot to put them in. But outside of that, we've never had a change where we didn't know it happened. But not in this game.
The future of this game seems grim. I don't know how the player base is on console though. I can't say that, but
I will say that like the
is, like-
direction this game is taken is very not stable. Like it seems to be appealing entirely to the audience that was already playing GW2.
They're fixing everything really slowly
well, I mean,
as well.
of course, that's what they wanted. They wanted.
Well, no, because ideally you want to pull in new players. You don't just want to rely on your existing player base. You know.
Well, usually a new release gets you the old players, but even if it's similar, you do get new players. It's just like how that
Yeah,
works. It's like
well,
that's why Call of Duty. It's like Call of Duty.
Well, the problem is, Bumble, that like the gameplay of this
one.
game is basically late game GW2. This
I mean, the
essentially no
gameplay of
early
this game is awful. Like,
I mean, like, I just mean the core progression. It's late game GW2. There's no sense of like steady progression. It's just, oh, you can get some upgrades, maybe we'll take you.
I mean, if the
you can grind for
upgrades
some
were,
skins, but it'll also take you a fair while. Like everything's grindy.
people like the grind.
Some people like the grind, but I do think that the average player is just gonna like, well, I could play this, or I could play like my new.
I mean, I'm learning that from like my Zombie Strike game. Like people legitimately just like the grind games. It seems like a lot of people.
Some
especially
people do.
kids.
But you gotta remember, there's always an audience that you're just not.
It's just the rewards for grinding in this game are just not substantial enough. Honestly, a lot of the skins are like just so ugly, and they're just like them trying to be funny.
getting. Yeah, every skin has to be a joke. You can't.
Yeah. And like, there's no like actual like cool like people. Yeah, some people want the funny skins, you know, obviously. Like there's an audience for it. You can make them, but I mean, I think anyone would take like a cool skin over like, you know, like a funny skin.
Yeah, I mean, that's why people wear like the crystal snapdragon skin, for example. I know
Yes.
I think it was Krook doesn't like. I don't know if you like it, but
I don't like
that
it.
skin gets worn so much because it's just a cool looking skin in general.
Yeah, like the night
Right.
t-shirt, like it's what the like chickpea gets used all the time because it's like cute, and other ones like really cool.
It's probably because people paid for it.
Also
Yeah,
that.
the chickpea one is just because people paid for it.
People want
You
to get their
definitely
money's
see
worth.
Definitely see Night Pea.
Yeah.
People really like that skin.
But like the entire novelty of a silly skin is supposed to be that, like it's the exception. You know, you're wearing the one weird skin that no one else wears.
They should. I don't know why they don't. They should honestly just have custom particles for the skins. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it honestly affect readability very much at all. Like I just can't see that because that's never really been an issue in these games to begin with. You know, all the characters are so kind of drastically different looking from one another.
PopCap's really good at introducing new issues though.
That is true. But new particles and like, you know, new like ways abilities like would give people, you know, I'd be like, oh, these skins are like even more unique.
I will say that issue does already exist somewhat with the with 80s and Star, because the wrestling skin looks really similar to that one 80s skin.
That's like one example.
Yeah,
I
but
can't
I'm
think of
saying
anything else.
It could get worse, is what I'm saying. If the issue already exists, like not so
I
much.
mean,
a
if
bug,
they
but-
actually like just thought it all through and they like compared everything they're making to one other than what had happened, what would they do?
Well, yeah, there's a
that?
lot less customs, and they don't have the reskins anymore. The one thing I don't like is the fact that they introduce these Spectrum hats, but then it's just the hats. You know?
Yeah.
Like, why not just go the extra step and make everything Spectrum? Like, maybe that doesn't work with your current system, but that seems like a change that would be very much worth making, because then you can, you know, color coordinate your items.
Like for what they wanted, the monetization of this game to do, which is, you know, mostly like the skins. The skins just are not very interesting for the most part.
Yeah.
They gotta stop with the jokes. People just don't care, is what I feel. They just don't care. They'll, like I said, always there will be an audience.
I mean,
for
I think
fucking
people like the acorn. I definitely saw a lot of people wearing that.
the like elephant.
Yeah, not the elephant, the Hearthstone.
Yeah, that's a cool skin, you know. That's what people want.
Yeah, I don't
And they paid for it.
They also paid for it.
gingerbread something. That's what I'm saying. But I just see
Yeah, because it looks terrifying. It looks scary. The scary thing.
Are you talking about the elephant?
No,
The gingerbread sunflower. The later
Oh.
shop.
It's like the closest thing to a clown sunflower in this game.
Yeah,
Every other game had a clown sunflower.
It's because sunflower makes you laugh, bro.
I don't know why anti-turrets don't despawn instantly when they're doing that.
Alright, time for a completely out of the blue question. Flame wall, good or bad?
Better than like,
Not bad in concept.
not bad in concept. Yeah, it's pretty useful. Like, just my problem with Snapdragon is just like, just what they. It's more. I guess my problem with Chomper is that Snapdragon just did him better. You know, like why? Like Chomper just has no niche. Like Flame Wall is like a more fun to use, like sort of version of Koopa, I feel. Like, you know, Blue Blazes is like BS, but it is like pretty fun to like to see people get one shot out of nowhere with like a big funny ball.
Speaking of no
Say that on that,
niche,
a lot of-
all the snipers just like really outclassed now because there's no drop off.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say so. I don't think I still think they're better at sniping than your average character. It's just the average character's too good. I don't think I would pick Chomper over Cactus.
Well, also another thing is right now this game is in like weird mode because it's 8v8 and it's obviously not
Yeah,
gonna
that
be
is. I mean, that is awful.
awful.
It's just funny because it
Yeah,
makes
right.
the already like stupid concept of Nightcap even worse because an assassin in 8v8 casual, like that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, there's more attention on you. She's already not a stealth character.
Yeah.
Invisibility is just flavor. You could get rid of it and she'd play the same.
Yeah.
There's just no incentive to go for sneak attacks. If there's an
Well, there's
incentive,
no
to go
reward
for
for it.
sneak attacks,
If you sneak
yeah,
up on
yeah,
someone, nothing
there's no
happens.
incentive. You don't get
You
cut
surprise
surprise
them. You get like 2 extra hits in, but unfortunately that's it.
Like, you know, what if Spy just could always face stab instantly? You'd see people play him a lot.
No, what if
different
Spy could
ways.
only butt a knife? That's more like Nightcap.
Exactly.
But he
Yeah.
just moved.
Yeah.
He had just Scout's mobility.
Well, it's more like what if Spy just had to use his pistol?
Yeah. That's
Yeah, and he
honestly
also had a
more-
double
what if he
jump
just
and
only-
moved as fast
he
as
just-
Scout.
He just only had a pistol. You know, but he's the stealth character, but obviously no one would play him stealthily. They'd use him as like this bootleg, like, combat class that's like kind of hard to lock down. Or not kind of, like pretty hard to lock down.
Yeah, I mean, I do think
Obnoxious.
Acorn is better. Just because he doesn't
Yeah,
have
of course.
Like,
But,
Nightcap
I mean,
is just Scout.
I mean, Acorn was supposed to do that, is the thing, though, is what it seems like. Acorn.
Was he though?
Yeah. Imp was supposed to do that, but
Kind
he
of hard
doesn't.
to tell. It's kind of hard to tell if Acorn's supposed to be Imp.
Oh,
Like,
okay,
Imp
even-
is like the ideal character.
Even if Acorn wasn't, that's what he ended up being, I guess is what's more important.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that's what he was supposed to be as well.
Like,
That's what you'd
Nightcap is
think.
meant to be Imp, and Imp's meant to be Nightcap. They're like the counterparts, I'm pretty sure.
But Nightcap is piercing for no reason.
That's just like, they just wanted piercing. They just wanted
Yeah,
piercing,
it's
that's
just
what
the
it was.
weirdest character to put it on. Like I could tolerate it
Oh,
if it's
sorry.
like, oh, you just get a bit of bonus damage because like you don't deal that much damage from the front or whatever. So that's like your way of supplementing your range damage. Probably
Did
makes
they want her to be like AoE? Because she had like her... Did they want her to like suck in people like with her one and then like use her primary to get kills or what?
But the thing is, the one wasn't even originally supposed to suck people in. That's like a recent development. Because
Yeah, well I think they wanted it to, but it just wasn't working, so they gave it the buff, so
they just made it ridiculous.
I don't know. Nightcap is just a garbage character. She's been
Nightcap is like as close to being well made, just needs some tweaks, but
yeah,
Offcap's not gonna
but
make
as
it.
of right now, she's just annoying and bad. She's not a good character. She
She's
hasn't been
mostly
since the
annoying
game
just
came
because
out.
aiming doesn't work.
Yeah,
If aiming worked, she'd be even worse.
but she's like just not a good character, and she has not been since the game came out. Like, she got circle jerked while she was bad, and no one got kills with her when the game came out, because she was clearly not a good character. She just had one thing that everyone adapted to within a few days, but people were just. It's like
Yeah, I don't.
I said this before. It's like if Blizzard, when Overwatch just came out, every single person was saying the nerf Bastion, even though he was clearly not a good character. If you knew what you're talking about, very clearly not a good character, and they didn't
feel
nerf
like-
him because they knew that.
I feel
They
like people
did
were
not
looking
do
for
it.
the next Rose, you know?
I guess, yeah. They just, I don't know. They want.
And they
something to
completely
bitch about.
glanced over Launch Super Brains and Scientist and Engineer.
I mean,
And all that.
Launch Super Brains was definitely the most egregious, I will
Yeah,
say.
yeah, he was, but
That
people
was also
fucked
partly
Nightcap.
because everyone was playing
Reason.
Nightcap as well.
Sort of, but not
A
really.
really bad
everyone was
character
playing,
that he
everyone was
one-shots.
playing Nightcap and getting no kills with her because no one got kills with Nightcap. They did
Yeah,
I'm
but
sure
she was
people were kills on
overpowered because she
console,
could
but, like,
kill you.
It's just so dumb because
That was sarcasm.
like the common consensus of the community is still like, oh, you remember no Launch Nightcap? Remember how overpowered that was?
They don't even know anything. They Garden Warfare 2 launch Rose. Now that is a fucking evil.
People were saying that a bloody what is it, Beta Rose, not Rose, not Beta Nightcap was more powerful or something. Maybe they had less health.
Well, no, I don't trust anyone's judgment on the beta. if I'm
I
being
don't
honest.
trust anyone's
Like,
judgment in general.
I don't trust my judgment on the beta.
Because it was just it was so new to everyone. Like it was even the concept of sprinting. You know, that was like no one had any experience.
It was exciting for me, and I played on console, like I said, so I had no idea how shit the game was gonna turn out. Like in terms of movement, just blamed it all on
Movement,
console.
aim.
Well, yeah, you just attribute everything to like, oh, it's it's because I'm on console, I'm not used to it.
Oh, she's just right here.
I mean, I will say I do not like Ian Peach. Not
Yeah,
really
of course.
related, but
I mean,
It's just
okay, it
not.
makes sense on more on Citron now if he's gonna be like the All-Star counterpart. Because he shouldn't be a class you should be like rewarded for getting close to, like at all.
Yeah.
I don't think Ian Peach is particularly implicitly close range. Like you can just
Yeah,
lob it
you
off.
can just lob it.
It's not like
Yeah, it shouldn't be a thing you can.
I mean, didn't
Shock,
it
I
also
guess.
get like severely gymped by the latest update? So like nearly half its duration.
I don't remember. The
I don't
direct
think
hit
it's very good
Peach.
anymore.
This stun is
direct hitting
well,
Peach is
significantly
really
weaker,
good.
and they nerfed his damage for no reason.
Yeah, he's very overpowered, you know.
I mean, he was good before this patch. He was definitely like probably the best plant. I
well, he
would
probably
say.
still
Yeah, but that was
yeah.
the problem. He was good when everyone else did bad damage,
Yeah.
but they also nerfed him on top of the buffs to everyone else.
He wouldn't have been good if he hadn't gotten nerfed though. Like he needed to deal as much as All-Star at the bare minimum, if not more, because he has more spread and all that. Like I'm not even sure if they were going for the whole All-Star counterpart because he does have like the whole shotgun spread thing, which makes him less suitable for mid-range. I did like the change to his open world, I will say.
This is probably AIDS for the other team.
Yeah, but
They are playing this game though.
that's what they deserve for
They
playing
asked
this
for
game.
it.
They did ask for it, yeah.
I think this is the most unbalanced Garden Warfare game.
Well, I don't know if I call it a God of Warfare game at this point.
I mean, yeah.
Is it a God of Warfare game?
I don't think so. I don't think so either. But I mean, like, just okay, PvZ shooter. How about that?
Yeah.
It's just easier.
Like, you could have made that argument before, but with 8v8 turf, I feel like that's a tipping point.
Yeah.
It just feels so different.
This is like close to a full lobby, which is, it feels dead. It feels dead.
Yeah, 8v8 wasn't a good idea.
There's 5 of us here, and that's over half our team.
Why do you think they put in 8v8? What do you, there are a few
They
theories.
preserve the integrity of like the.
Did they want to
dead.
save on server resources? Was it a genuine
Or did they think it
like
was
balanced
competitive?
decision?
Yeah, did they think it was going to be competitive?
Did they think
Yeah.
it's competitive? Is that what they think people come to this game for? Like in the normal turf rotation?
Maybe if
I'm
this
okay
game
if they make
is
like a
good.
competitive mode, if they add a ladder, and it's like its
Yeah.
own game mode.
It should be its
But
own game mode though.
You shouldn't do it to just like the you know, casual lobbies. Like, you shouldn't make them 8v8.
You can even like do something like make it so your competitive mode is the only mode that has crossplay or something.
Maybe.
Like obviously that's a bit
That would make the
counterproductive.
least sense. You should make the casual mode
No,
crossplay.
no. The thing is, like the casual console players will be the most likely ones to play.
Yeah. They have not ever faced the wrath of like me and you before, Krook. I don't know how they would deal with it.
I mean, even your average PC schmuck could probably be quite a handful for them.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be fair if PC wasn't competitive.
No, it wouldn't be, but like,
Well,
I'm saying that
But
the competitive crowd would be the least likely to.
PC needs it. This game,
No,
PC
what do you mean? The
will be
competitive crowd would definitely be like the most likely to complain. They
I don't
like
think
have
it's
they
much.
care about the game the most, and if they get pummeled, they're not going to be happy.
But
Oh, the
PC
answer was obvious.
needs
Switch to PC.
They need it. PC needs it. PC needs the crossplay, or this game's gonna be dead within like 6 months, pretty much. Like,
It's just funny
it's
that-
getting harder and harder and harder to find a lobby.
and 8v8 sure ain't helping.
And when you find one, this happens.
Yeah,
You just don't.
every game is a stomp on one side. It seems it just was never like this in GW 1 or 2. Like I worked just
I mean,
consistently.
it was stomps, but it wasn't.
I mean, but it wasn't consistently every single game. It's just stomp.
You can't get up, I'm pretty sure, but I can.
because you know, fantastic map design. I love being trapped in there with the marshmallows.
The final objective on here on Loggy Acre is the marshmallow one.
Yeah.
It is probably the most sniper-happy objective in the game.
All the map hazards. This game is just garbage. I don't know why.
Yeah, the marshmallows aren't fun.
Straight up.
On the nuts. It's like a huge problem I would say right now. Is
Down.
Didn't I mute everyone?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I guess it resets between matches, you know?
Okay.
That
Those guys
would
are having fun,
totally
they're
within,
having a riot. Am they really toxic just spawn camping?
Absolutely.
I wonder what they're gonna do to Giddy Park, because Sean Laker went on record saying,
They want to reduce
camping's
spawn
not cool.
camping at Giddy Park. You know,
spawn
only the
camping
most
isn't cool.
pressing of issues. I'm just keep shooting them. Screw it. Come on, we can kill him.
With our
We all shoot
DPS
him at the exact same time.
invincible. No one can kill me. It's not possible.
Sure, this would work.
Oh, here he comes. He has a plan.
The thing is, this isn't GW2 Huskop. It isn't actually going to do that much.
I think
Maybe.
Huskop's more consistent in this game, honestly, at least for me. Maybe that's just because I'm good.
I like that Huskop has a delayed explosion.
Yeah, it has a larger radius. I like that there's a delay, I guess. But it's also
I
kind
think
of
that was
useless.
I mean, Huskop always sucked, though. Like, it was only good at killing, like...
Alright, I just realized my healing hose isn't on.
No, you could definitely kill people.
You could, but you could, but why would you do that when you can use it for mobility, which is always in pretty much
It's a lot slower in this game.
I think there is a lot of utility in just being able to click a button and kill someone.
In GW2, man, I just didn't use that crap for like damage ever. I always use it for mobility. It's just
I
something
used it
that's-
for mobility, but like when given the chance, it's hard to pass up. Just using it for damage because it is.
I mean,
very,
if you're gonna die, then yeah.
yeah, it's just very free is the thing.
Try and get a free kill with it, but... Am I dead?
I mean, one thing they could try would be like scaling the maps or some shit, and then like lowering the jump heights, but that probably wouldn't work out too well.
That, yeah, I don't think that would work like at all. Probably take too much effort and probably would not work.
Like, the jumps are just so like ridiculous. I don't understand why they felt that like a character needs to be given that much height when they jump.
I don't know. Combined with like the shooting, it just makes it feel terrible, you know? Maybe when like aiming's fixed up, it'll end up not being very bad.
It's just especially dumb because it seems to have encouraged them to just completely like screw over him. You know?
Oh yeah, Krook, you saw they responded to your Reddit post, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
It's exciting. That's like the biggest problem.
Yeah, but they're not
with the
fixing the
shooter.
camera stuff. That's what they told us as well.
It's
They said they're working on one of the issues.
Well, number one is the biggest issue, and
Why can I not
The other
guys?
issue is pretty big too.
I
Like,
don't think nearly as.
I don't think we
number
should
one.
just like say, okay, wow, they're fixing
Well,
one of the game-breaking issues.
no, I mean, yeah, we want the other ones, but at least it's something. We're getting something.
I feel like no, I feel like you've been taken hostage.
I feel like I think Crook's right, to be honest. You do.
I don't know
I'll just
how
fix
game
one
breaking. I don't know how game breaking the other two are in comparison.
I feel like
I
you've been
feel-
taken hostage, man.
I think you're overblowing the other two. They should fix them. I'm not saying they shouldn't fix them, but I'm glad that that one's getting fixed so we can at least see how everything is with that.
How many games do you know of where that's a thing, like that have released in modern day?
I
Have had like a problem like that.
Games don't release that state, let alone like take long to fix it. You know.
I'm not excusing
probably
it.
like
I'm
Anthem.
saying like let's just.
Like, this
fucking
game
see.
is just the next Anthem, but it doesn't have the appropriate audience to recognize that. You know.
Yeah.
Has the inappropriate audience?
Well, yeah. Like this,
They don't
this
dress
game
properly?
This game has a very large majority of people that will just blindly defend it.
Yeah. Small community,
Yeah.
and they really like Bobcat and everything they do.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a mix and blame thing. Like, obviously this was rushed, but you know,
And what are some good things this game did?
The maps.
that's the problem. It's like
Maps
this game
are
has
nice, like
this game
really
has good
good.
concepts, but I don't think they work.
No, I don't think the maps are that good anymore, honestly. Maybe that's just because
they're
drop-off
better.
doesn't
They're
exist.
better than Garden Warfare's maps.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'd really like to experience them without
I will say that I think
snipers everywhere.
I think that the finales make it so that these maps are just
The finales suck, yeah,
the
but
worst in the series.
no.
Yeah, is there one good finale? Because I think
No.
they all ruin the game.
The drill isn't that bad.
The drill is pretty bad.
It's not that bad.
It-
If it was, if it wasn't,
I
if
think
it
the
was,
drill's very good.
if it wasn't as annoying to shoot the drill, it would
It's
be
like
fine.
giant sniper sight lines everywhere.
and
I like
my
how
main
it,
issue is the fact that
Yeah,
it's
you're
like,
right.
it
They
takes
could
place
fix it
at
though.
The same objective.
They could fix it. Go. They just need more cover. They just need more cover on the attacking side on the high
Really?
ground. No, probably
Yeah.
not. Because like all the high ground on that is just like completely flat. There's like nothing coming out of the high ground to like protect you from snipers, except for like that one little like wooden house. But like that one always just seems to be a death sentence for some reason.
It's too big. Is one of my problems. There's just so much area to that map. Not really, especially now. There's not a lot of players to fill that area.
I don't know. I think the maps are still pretty alright. Like, the finales are like the finales, but you're not playing up.
Yeah, but the problem is that they take up a larger portion of it. Because the map's also smaller.
Kind of depends.
I do think that's a huge detriment to this game, is how small the maps are.
What's going on?
Because it really limits like the amount of variety you can even experience. Like every match goes over so quickly.
I mean, that's very nice for just it's sort of you want to.
Yeah, but the problem is there's not enough maps to sustain that.
Yeah, well, I mean that's just a not enough maps problem.
How many maps are they even going to add? Are they going to add any? Like
Are
if
they even going to support this game is the question.
That's
It probably
yeah.
hasn't done well.
well, I'm pretty sure that was never the
Maybe it
plan.
has.
It seems like the plan is just to keep rolling out skins and stuff and hope people buy them.
It's just amazing how slowly they update the game in general. They just do it monthly. The game needs like fixes right away. They just take it slow.
There's no way they can update this game weekly. That's not reasonable to expect from any AAA studio, honestly.
Well,
Did I say weekly?
No. Well, what would you?
Oh, I said
what would you?
They update the game monthly right now, but like
what would you prefer?
they're still fixing
launch?
issues that should have been fixed on launch. So they should have been fixed.
I mean, no one
like, really quickly.
No one makes a big enough issue about any of the issues except for like us.
no, they make like a
They make the
an
community
indirect
the community will talk about like Nightcap OP, or they'll like put like, you know, point blame at things that are clearly not the problem if you like actually like start looking into issues. Like,
Because no one knew that that's how the aim was broken in that way, and people still didn't
they
seem to
thought it
understand.
was sprinting, and now sprinting is worse.
That's the thing, though. This entire sample size we keep basing it off is the people who've stayed. The people who go just leave, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
a lot of
PC
people already left this game, and they did realize the issues.
I don't see these PC players talking about how the game sucks. It's just gone. So even if we're the only ones pointing it out, I don't think we're the only ones being affected. You know, I do think.
Well,
people are
everyone's
saying,
being
"Fuck this
affected
game."
by it, but we're the only ones, you know, pointing it out. But
Maybe we're the only people stupid enough to still care about this game.
That is somewhat.
People buying it.
Yeah. I mean, there's some people that play it. Obviously, we're in a match with a couple of them.
They exist.
Yeah, one or two. Sniping's a good job, mate.
Absolutely.
I don't know. The future of PopCap. I hope I'm not just talking on my ass and everything I'm saying is wrong, but I think the future of PopCap's pretty grim with PvZ3.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
that's like
maybe not.
it's just a different studio though. Like
It doesn't look good.
They don't represent PopCap shooters at all.
I
Like,
know,
does anyone
but
like
I
what they're
mean,
doing
it's
with
it's
PvZ3?
all, they're all under PopCap. You know,
They're
all
under the PopCap name, but
all under the
in
PopCap
the end,
name.
they're just EA Studios.
They're
But,
like
like-
rebranding PvZ
but I mean-
altogether though.
but, like-
a different art style.
Like what
Why?
what EA is probably going to be like is like if all these games are failing, like okay, well fucking why are we
Also, the logo is the same.
franchise going?
Yeah, that's the weird part. Like, why are they trying to rebrand one of the most recognizable video game series that exists? You know, why are you like, yes, this needs to be
Sure.
completely overhauled. We need to remove the iconic logo that like literally everyone and their mother knows.
Yeah.
Replace it with.
My mother does know what it is, I will tell you that.
I got you.
And I like how I just
I mean,
three-shot a dead bit
hell.
across the map as well, with the
Yeah.
jumper.
It's just especially funny because, like, recently, you know, PvZ1 had its, like, anniversary and you have all these people saying, oh, I remember, you know, PvZ1, that game was great. And then fucking... this is
Yeah.
what they do. No, like, attempt to cash in on all this nostalgia people have.
PopCap's a bunch of weirdos.
It sucks because this IP is very nice and funny and fun.
Very easy to work with, also.
Yeah, and honestly, what has been produced thus far is just not what I want for it.
I love counter-sniping with Chomper.
Yeah, Chomper the sniper. Chomper, the close range devastator and long range punisher.
I love sniping with Oak. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
Oak
Pretty
feels
funny.
so fucking just weird in this game right now, honestly. You don't see them very often, and like,
Yeah, he's very good. They're just not
Yeah.
using him for some reason. Which just confuses me.
Is
It's
he- why do people, just because they said they nerfed him, so now he's not strong anymore?
he's definitely
Yeah,
strong.
They didn't nerf him.
I don't get it.
They just gave him a cooldown, which really doesn't matter. But they said, oh, we nerfed this character,
I
so
think maybe
therefore you
like,
can't play him anymore.
I think maybe people just don't like that they can't sprint. I don't know.
You just spam jump though. Like, there's like an unusually high number of people playing Acorn as like Acorn, but they don't.
Yeah.
I like, why do people thump jump onto Chomp? Also, it took forever for my thing to register on him.
It'll work. I don't know.
Super Brains is very heavily counted.
He's countered by existing. Awful.
I do find it funny how the moment damages go up, the old bad characters sort of return. You know.
God, super like the hit reg on melee attacks is just terrible. And like in GW2 it was fine. Like
This game's just really laggy overall.
yeah, there's so much delay on everything, even like in single player it seems, you know. It's just all off. It's off everything.
I just wonder where's the extra quality going?
I don't know. I think like the new characters is cool, but the rest
But
of the
they
game
didn't-
isn't cool enough to support that. Or
But that's like a
You know?
redesign. I don't look at these characters and think, wow.
oh no, I mean like Wizard.
sh-
Like I'm adding like a bunch of new characters, which is fun.
Oh yeah, no. But the problem I have with this game is, in large part, it runs worse. But I don't really see much of an improvement. Like maybe the shaders, but outside of that, not really. There's like
I
an
accidentally turned my
unnecessary-
volume off. I didn't hear you.
There's like an unnecessary increase in texture quality, and then there's slightly better shading, but it's honestly not that good.
On what?
Just on the models in general, on the gameplay. Like the shaders are better. Oh, I'm saying like the visual improvements aren't as obvious as they should be for how much the frames drop. Like console gets lag on split screen, even though consoles, does run it a lot better. So I certainly don't see like a substantial increase in the model quality. So I don't know. I don't know what's up with that.
I do.
What?
I don't. I see an increase. I mean, I guess it's just a personal thing.
I mean, the game looks better.
Yeah, but I don't see
Yeah,
it in the
but it's
models.
how much of it is necessary. Yeah, like the optimization is terrible in this game. That is no lie. And where is that? Where is that coming from?
They could have just like stylized the GW2 graphics a bit more to
Yeah.
like to kind of what they wanted in this.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind how it looks if they just make it so like PCs can run it.
My
Yeah.
main problem with it is that it's
I like
also like
how
you look at the out of bounds and it looks awful.
No one looks at out of bounds.
Well, I don't mean like far out of bounds. I just mean you just look slightly out of the distance and already
Oh,
you're seeing 2D.
looks like
They should have just added like some.
Oh wow! Hey, let's give you a display, folks. You watching Krook TM? This is why this game is great.
yeah, this seems to happen a lot.
You think this plant's having fun? You think he exists?
Yeah, everyone in the other team will leave, and that's just sort of what happens because you since it's 8v8 and all that junk.
Come on out, little
It's not
Players-
even just that. It's not even just 8v8 is just like further enhancing the problem of this game is dying. Like, there's no way to. There's just no way to.
I'm gonna do the funny new thing that they added. See, I did it.
Oh, that's hot.
They like foot checker.
One of them's gonna turn on us in a second.
They want a
Wow,
I told you.
it's fucked up.
Does he not know? PvP. Sure. Well, it's even like because in 8v8, individual players have more impact. So if you just stack teams and play with your friends, you're gonna stomp. You have a lot more chance of stomping.
Do you like dying? Oh no, you can see us now. Wait, doesn't Stink Cloud disable that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's still trying.
And this is the podcast.
This is the podcast of the century.
Okay, it seems they have players now.
Alright, so we can start shooting them, I guess.
Okay.
He didn't follow me, what do you know?
Where are you, Krook TM?
What else can we talk about? How
Let's
bad the
see.
servers are?
How bad the launch was?
Well, I'd rather talk about what the game is now rather than what it was.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Servers are awful in this game.
Servers suck.
Terrible.
Very laggy mobility. What else? Oh yeah, right. There are
Very
still some
laggy
bosses in
ability.
this game that are invincible. The
There's
supports typically don't die.
Yeah.
Oh, there's also Citron.
If you know what you're doing, you will not die with a support character.
There's also Citron's literal invincibility.
Yeah, in this, earlier in the thing, I've been playing Scientist and Sunflower, and I think that's pretty clear evidence how invincible those characters are. Like 2 super brain stomped on me and I'm completely fine.
Oh, what the
This is the
fuck?
toxic emote. The poop emoji. I'm gonna get rid of that actually, so I didn't even use it.
You gonna revive me? No? Okay. There's a one by you, by the way. Behind you, Bumble.
Sure there is, okay. Don't worry, my damage got nerfed, because I was way too powerful.
Hey, they nerfed Z-Max damage.
Yeah, as you do.
Why? I couldn't tell you why.
It was too powerful.
They heard us saying that mech does a lot of damage, and they just
Yeah, they heard the joke mech does a lot of damage.
and they thought it was serious.
And they didn't know it was sarcasm.
Yeah,
just don't
guys,
know what sarcasm is.
Mech was awful. We said that because it's bad. Mech was not good.
Yeah, no, let's just let's set the record straight here, folks.
And it's even worse now because it dies faster because everything else does more damage while it does less.
Yeah. Also, you still can't like hit anything with it either.
Wait,
Yeah, just bad damage.
why are they still inside spawn? They have the same number of players.
We have more.
No, we don't. It's 4v4.
Oh, I guess we got someone else. I didn't
They're
count
just
properly.
all sitting in spawn for no reason.
Does he
I
not
can't
know?
use abilities.
Didn't he see this happen to his friend?
It's not his friend, Krook.
Colleague.
Work colleague. Oh no, Humble died. Get him, Krook. Okay, never mind.
I used the funny speech.
Nice one.
This is what the game just evolves into constantly.
It's so often.
This is just what the game is. The amount of spawn camping now is just absurd.
Spawn camping is just ultimately what happens every time.
I just find it especially funny because that's like clearly what these like regen areas were supposed to prevent, and they just made it worse.
Yeah.
They put in all this effort to try and stop the spawn camping that barely existed in the first place, and they make it worse. Because like spawn
That's the
camping in GW2, it only happened on like